All right. This is a video showing some old school technique. It's not too old. It's from about 2009 or 2010 or so. And you'll see a skier who was at the time probably one of the top giant slalom skiers in the world, an American named Ted Ligety. All right. And I'll show you a portion of a run he made. I believe he won this race, and I'll show you a portion in full speed, right? Then I'll show you some in slow motion, some portions to show you some fundamental errors that they're making back then. They had some technique flaws. All right, so I'll run it full speed.
Look at he won it. The Bormio Finals, winning the overall Globe. So
the average person looks pretty good.
Positive
looks
attitude
like
coming
really
in here,
ski.
skiing very well.
Laying down some
top.
angles there.
The time of Bauman above you see, and Ligety with a handsome lead. A half second now to work with. And he just seems that he has got the rhythm here.
I think he's just in the zone. He's not thinking about it. He's going. He's ahead of the course, skiing on line, making a little bit of mistake there, but look at the strength to get back on course. High mom to the crowd, and he is rocking.
And Ligety not willing to hit the panic button when maybe he should have, but building on his lead. Now onto the final pitch. Very steep, very dangerous down here.
And back in control.
Okay, so for the average person, I'm sure they're thinking, well, that looks pretty damn good, you know? But let's take a closer look at slow motion. We'll see some fundamental flaws. This is the same video. I just took sections and put it in slow motion. All right. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is what they were doing with their outside arm. He's making a right turn, so his left arm here is his outside arm. A right turn going this way, right? This is the outside arm. And in today's technique, all right, which I taught, you pull this arm back and low. In the speed events, you don't have to necessarily pull the whole arm back. You can just pull the elbow back, the outside elbow back. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to twist up counter rotation. That's going to twist your hip, get your hip rotation, turn your body. In this case, it's going to turn his upper body to the clockwise, so it's facing out. Outside of the turn. As he's turning to the right, his upper body would face a little bit to the left, about the 10 o'clock position compared to his skis. All right. All right. Now, instead of doing that, he's going to take his arm and push it forward. All right. So first of all, his body is a little bit too extended. He's getting too much air time, too much flow time. Okay. And when he comes down, he's going to impact with impulse, which is going to break more snow bonds, throw more snow, right? Now watch what he does with his left arm. So he starts pushing it forward, driving it across in front of him. Now what that's going to do is that's going to rotate his chest to the clockwise, right? So that his chest is chasing his ski tips, or even it could be inside. It looks like it's actually inside, all right? So he's trying to drive the turn with his upper body. Right? You don't want to do that. Now, that can cause many problems. Just as a short list, it can cause you to skid your tails out, which is doing in this case. It causes you to 2-foot the turn where your feet are side by side. And then when that happens, if you don't have enough hip angulation, right, you're going to load up on the inside edge of the inside ski and you're going to slide out. All right, you'll see him do that in the next turn. Or what can happen is you can load up too much force on the inside ski and get inside ski blowout. Or another thing is if you don't load up that outside ski enough and it bounces around, it'll blow off, right? Just pop off. But in this case, he's getting tail wash. He's washing out his tails, all right? He's skidding his tails, and you see all that snow being thrown? Well, that's slowing him down. That represents energy. You're breaking ice bonds, and then the kinetic energy of thrown snow, that comes from his body's kinetic energy, which means he's slowing down. You cannot make or destroy energy. You can just transform its form from one to another. So he's losing speed. This is slowing him down. Plus, it's not a clean turn, right? He's scraping around this turn. Okay, so in this turn, he's doing the same technique. His outside arm here should be back, right? Back and low, rotating his body to the outside, right? Twisting him in this case counterclockwise, but it's not. He's squared up, facing it, right? And this was the technique back then. He pulls in that arm, right? The outside arm. It's rotating his body around. His chest is now chasing his ski tips, all right? When it happens, his chest is in line with his skis. Then his feet are side by side. This is called two-footing it, right? Skis side by side, all right? Now, if he doesn't have enough hip angulation, he's going to load up that inside edge of the inside ski here. And if his upper body center of mass is not high enough, he's not going to get the lever arm, and he's going to slide out. And in this case, he does, right? But he catches it. He's skidding. So this is a very inefficient turn. You know, as you look in full speed, oh, it looks pretty good, right? But actually, it's not, right? So he's skidding out. He's throwing snow. He's taking a wider path because he's skidding than he should. Instead of carving cleanly, slicing through, he's skidding, all right? And you see how high his outside arm is? That's part of the reason. Look at his shoulder angle. It's almost crossing a T here, right? His shoulders should be flat. You get that arm down, right? Get this arm lifted a little bit. Get those shoulders flat, right? That gets your upper body more upright, and that creates hip angulation. If you have that, you raise your upper body center of mass so that when the centripetal force of being pushed through your legs is countered by the inertia of the upper body center mass going this way. Well, this is low, this is high. That creates a lever arm that throws you back up onto the outside ski. All right. Now he can't do that. One, he doesn't have the shoulder proper. But if he doesn't have counter rotation, if you have counter rotation, all you have to do is bow towards the tips of your ski, which is good because you put more pressure on the tips to initiate that turn. So if he turned his body to the outside, that arm will pull back and his body will turn to the outside. If he just bow a little bit, that will lift his upper body center of mass, all right, and put weight on the outside ski here, all right. So he does it again here. Squares up, right? Watch him pull that outside arm in. He pulled it in. His ski, he's two-footing it. In this case, he's outriggering, right? Now, when you outrigger, if he has too much weight on this inside ski and that tip grips, it'll rip him around, throw him around. It'll bash that knee up into his chin, right? And it'll toss him in a spin, right? But he makes it through this time. Now, if you have too little weight on an outside ski, it looks like he has some weight because it's flexed, all right? It could bounce around and blow off. All right, what else can happen? Okay, I'm not thinking right now. All right, so he's skidding this turn a little bit too. Not as bad as the last one. He's on his tails a little bit. Okay, now if you look at this, he's way too high. All right, this is another problem. This is too much air time. And the problem with this is you got to try to keep your upper body center mass always low. Back then, they would fully extend their bodies. They would throw their outside arm up in the air. It's just what they did. I think they did it because it was, you know, what everyone else was doing, right? And they're just, you know, copying each other. So if you have too much air time, like he is here, he cannot start applying force application until he comes back down, right? So he's not maximizing the distribution of force application, all right? And when he comes back down, he's going to hit with impulse, and it's going to skid. It's going to throw snow, break bonds, which is going to bleed energy and slow him down, right? With that outside arm too high, he's not going to get enough hip angulation. He's not going to get his shoulders level. But actually, he pulls it down, right? So watch. Now, he's coming down hard here, right? That's impulse, which is the concentration of force application over time, right? He's going to throw some snow, bleed energy, right? Okay, what's going on here? All right, so he's got that outside arm down, all right? Oh, the problem is here, he has no hip rotation. He has no counter rotation. His chest is chasing his ski tips, right? And again, if you do that, you cannot get slip and slide, right? If your ski boots are side by side like this, you're going to only weight one boot or the other. You're not going to maximize distribution. If you have counter rotation, if his body was facing to the outside here, that outside ski would slip back, the inside ski would slip forward, right? That would put space between the boots. That allows you to get the skis close, and you evenly weight pressure on both skis, or more evenly, right? So I think he skids here. This is going to cause a skid, and he's going to throw some snow. Yeah, look at that. Look at all that snow thrown, right? He's outriggering now, right? This is not a clean slice. This is an outrigger, right? Again, way too high. He's coming up way too high, right? This is float time. This is air time. This is hang time, right? He cannot start applying pressure till he comes down here, right? He should have his upper body low, right? And then immediately start applying pressure here, right? If you apply it early, you get that turn started early, and you can decrease the amount of force you apply all along the way. You're breaking less snow bonds, you're throwing less snow, all right? See, he's coming down hard, and he's throwing a lot of snow there. He's got some slip and slide going, but he's has no hip rotation there. Again, no hip rotation. He's washing the tails, throwing snow. Getting a little high, coming down. Okay.